What up guys, Sumel983 here to bring you another album review, and this time we've got some Death Doom to dwell into today, and this one is something very special we have indeed. But I'm going to be reviewing the new Convocation album entitled Coalesce. This is released under Everlasting Spew and will be dropped on July 3rd, 2020. Now, if you're not too familiar with Convocation, they are a Finnish kind of doom death band that mainly takes influence from the likes of Funeral Doom, so don't expect anything like Asphyx or Hooded Menace, for example. Expect something very unique and very fucking intense and yet beautiful at the same time. Yeah, I first got introduced to this band back in 2018 with their debut album entitled Scars Across. Now, if you want to check out that album, make sure you do. I'll leave a link down below of where you can check it out. But yeah, that album was absolutely incredible, and it really did surprise me because when it comes to Death Doom, like I do like the genre, but I like to find something that actually sticks out about a band, and Convocation, when it came to Death Doom, obviously incorporating more Funeral Doom elements, really made it stand out from the crowd and made us fall in love with their debut album. So if you haven't checked it out, make sure you do so. So, not too long ago, I received an email through Everlasting Spew of a promo for this new album, Coalesce, and I immediately jumped on board and I've been listening to the absolute shit out of this album because, yeah, I was massively hyped up after Scars Across. I had to have some new material for these guys. So yeah, it's 4 tracks and runs around 46 minutes in length, so it's roughly around the same sort of time frame as Scars Across. And what can I say about this album? Other than, wow. This album has truly taken over my life over the past few days. I mean, this album is just so incredible to listen to at any given point of the day. And I've been listening to it when I go to bed, I've been listening when I'm out and about, or even just chilling around the house, and it never fails to put me in a sense of solitude and awe when listening to this, because this is easily one of the most powerful death metal albums that I have ever fucking heard. Like, it's not just another Death Doom album. This is something truly remarkable and quite new to me. I know it's kind of like following wake in much of Scars Across, but it takes on board even more Funeral Doom elements to make this really abrasive, more destructive feel to it, but it still feels so beautiful and elegant to listen to, and I feel like that's what makes this album stand out a little bit more than Scars Across, because it feels more beautiful and more just silhouetted to listen to. It kind of creates a real dismal, picturesque atmosphere to it that really just overthrows you and just makes you feel like you're getting suffocated when you listen to it. And I'm not talking about suffocated as in someone strangling you. I'm talking about like you're drowning, basically, that slow death sort of feel to it. And this album definitely incorporates that perfectly, but it is still beautiful to listen to. It's like you're drowning in beauty. It's such a weird experience, but at the same time, it is something to behold, if you ask me. And just the whole atmosphere across this entire album just doesn't let up. It is atmospheric from beginning to end, and it just captivates you from any moment on this album. It is filled with captivation and dynamics that really just take a hold of you and never let go. It is something very special, and something that I feel like I needed with my music taste recently, because I've been listening to a lot of the same sort of stuff. Like, I'm not talking about like everything all sounds the same. I've just been listening to the same genres that I've always listened to, whereas this one kind of has broke apart that, and I feel like that's one reason why I keep on coming back to this album, because I've never heard something so unique and so powerful that I just keep on coming back to this album. I'll put something on and I'm just like, nah, I'll stick on Coalesce, and it just sets me mood up perfectly to just relax and kick back and just excuse me, and be in awe listening to it, and I feel like it really does captivate you in that way. But in other elements, it does still feel quite abrasive and quite intense to listen to, especially on the first track that they've released from this album, which I'll be linking down below, which is called The Absence of Grief. And that alone, in my personal opinion, is the best song on this album, and something that I feel like if they didn't release, if they would have released any other track, it would have been fantastic. But the perfect setup for this album is definitely to release that track, and it is a nearly 14-minute long absolute tank of a song. I mean, when the hard chugs come in from the guitars and the abrasive, intense demonic growl comes in, it's just, it just fills you with so much intensity and makes you want to pull the infamous sting face, it just feels so goddamn gnarly and unrelenting to listen to. It's just, it's something different, man. It's really something different. I absolutely love it. But the first song is no, stalemate, should we just say, with Martyrize, the first track, which is a 12 minutes, 23 second, absolute fucking monster song that's filled with so much depth and intensity on a different level that's not intensity that I've talked about in many other reviews, where the intensity kicks in when the blast comes in or whatever. That is not on this album. This is just pure and utter heaviness with immense amounts of atmosphere and beauty, but yet suffocating intensity thrown in for good measure. It is just scary to listen to. It's just, I never thought something so heavy could be so chilling to listen to, and it makes me hair stand on end just even thinking about it now, talking to you. It's just absolutely incredible. And another long one we've got right here is the third track, Misery Form, which was, when I first got the promo, was my favourite track on this album, and I do still stand by that being my second favourite track on this album, because it is I'd say it's one of the most suffocating song, the most suffocating song on this album. It does feel quite claustrophobic when you listen to it, but it is something incredible, like and in the best possible way of sounding suffocating, and this album definitely incorporates that. And then the 8-minute long closer to this album, Portal Close, is an absolutely mammoth of a song as well, but yet that Go On Forever outro with the cleaner part is just the perfect way to send you into slumber. And I mean, I've listened to this album quite a few times over the past couple of days when going to sleep, and I know when it's getting there, I'm out straight at the end of that, and I can go to sleep happy. You know what I mean? And wake up. And I've been getting some really good sleep recently. I'm not even joking. I'm not saying this just for the review. I'm saying it genuine with you, that when this album finishes, I know I'm going to get a good night's sleep. And it's weird because it puts us in such a good mood, but then relaxes towards the end. It's something you just need to hear, man. And I absolutely love the musicianship on this album. The drum work is absolutely fantastic, but it's so well mixed and well mastered that you can hear every instrument getting that boom and that grit behind it when it needs to be, because it is an absolute the mix on this album is absolutely incredible, if you ask me. One second. The mixing and mastering is unreal, and the production is just, it just complements the album so fucking well, man. And the guitar work is just so dark. It really gives off, in some elements, like some of the more modern Behemoth sort of vibes, with those dark, more black metal, blackened sort of chords and dissonance in there that makes it, really gives it that real depth and dynamic sort of approach to it that really makes it stand out a little bit more. It still reminds you that it is a dark and just intense album, but it does have some solitude in there for good measure, and the cleaner parts and the more ambient parts on it just creep up on you and just feel just, it's so gritty, and I absolutely love it. And then on top of that, the vocals, the low vocals are just so fucking thick and juicy and just menacing to listen to. It's quite unnerving, especially when those lower, when you think he's hit a low note and then he goes even lower. It's just like, oh, it just twigs a nerve on you and just sends chills up your spine. It's just unreal. And then there is some like cleaner parts on this album. I can't remember which song it is. I think it's either Misery Form or Portal Close. I can't remember. Where there's like a cleaner section on here, and that just creates like some really cynical sort of atmosphere that really takes you a bit off guard and still impacts you with a heavy punch not long after. And it's just, oh, it's so embracive to listen to. And I honestly think listening to this album, it's just took us completely by surprise. Not that I wasn't a fan of Scars Across or anything like that, because Scars Across was an amazing album, but this is another level for the band. And yeah, it's absolutely fucking fantastic. So make sure you check out the new Convocation album, Ashes Coalesce. You need to check out The Absence of Grief and Misery Form. Absolutely incredible songs, but make sure you check out the other ones. For an overall score though, I'm going to give this a solid 9 out of 10. Absolutely incredible album, and I'm going to listen to the living shit out of this album, and this may grow to become one of my all-time favourite albums of this year. And it's every listen, it gets better, so make sure you check it out. But yeah, I'll see you until the next video, and remember, stay metal, and I'll see you later.